back, wpdevoted.com, and we're back on our Kern County Ads test site. And today we're going to cover Customize Section. And basically what it does is it allows you to add and remove and customize different aspects of your theme and your pages. Depending on what theme you have installed, depends a lot on how many options are available to you under Customize. So we'll go ahead and click Customize now, and we'll go ahead and see what this theme that I have allows us to do. And as I said, some of these are default and will be exactly the same as yours. And also there will be new stuff that's added that your theme does and does not allow you to do. So yours may or may not look like this, and in fact it's probably not going to look like this, but some things will. So for instance, the first thing in here is active theme, and right now we have a classified ad premium theme installed. We can change that by clicking this button, which we're not going to do. And we have an add button here, logo, and basically the logo allows us to add a logo, which I don't have a logo, but if I did have a logo I can add it there. We'll go ahead and use this image here for right now, and that's where our logo would show up, and that's where it shows up on this theme. On some themes it may put it over here, it may put it over here, it may be real huge. They're all different, but basically that is what a logo does, and that's the section. So this is the font sizes. This allows you to set like the title font, which is here. If we wanted to change that to, let's say, a 16 or 20, 16 is recommended for content text, which is this. For title text, you would want it to be a little bigger. Let's say 24. Or you can just leave it blank and it'll do default whatever your theme recommends, which we'll go ahead and do that. Site description, font size, same thing. Ads, basically it allows you to change the font size of different tags. Here's defaults though. H1 tag is the biggest. It goes H1 through H5, H6. This has changed over the years, but H1 being the biggest and the highest number being the smaller. So it's reverse of what you would normally think. So the H1 would normally be the largest, and then you would work your way down or up to the lowest. So for instance, your H1 tag is your heading tag, and H1 would be, say, let's set to 40, to whereas your H2 maybe 35, your H3 maybe a 25 or a 30, and then 20, and then 16, or just whatever you want to put in here. It's all up to you, but that's kind of what's recommended. This is kind of like a H1, to whereas something smaller would obviously be one of these, but we're not going to do that. So that's the font sizes. WooCommerce, we're going to get into these options later when I talk about WooCommerce. For right now, we're going to skip that. This is your site identity. This is default, and you will have this on yours. And this is where you put in the name. I'm going to go ahead and remove this logo really quick. The site identity, as you can see here, is what shows up what your site's called. And this is your tagline, and that's how you change that. And once again, that's under site identity. That allows you to set your site title and your tagline. And the site title also appears up here in this tab of your web page, and also on the on Google in the search results in the SERPs, it will also show this, display this, unless you change that later on, like using a plugin like Yoast. You'll be able to change all that for each page. Makes changing the meta tags really simple. And that's what this is a meta tag called the meta title tag, and that's where it changes it at. It actually, I'll show you that really quick. We'll view the source of the page. And if we go down here into the heading, here's the head tag, and here's the meta, here's the title, and this is where them tags get displayed at. Of course, we'll cover all that stuff later on in the more advanced stuff when I talk about customizing your theme with HTML, CSS, PHP. But right now we're gonna just move on. This is your color scheme, so you can set the background color, which shows up in the back if we wanted to change it to one of them. But right now we're not going to change it, but if we wanted to, we can do that. Your headers or your hover color is like when they hover over these links. That's what they're talking about here. You can change that. So if we wanted to change it to a yellow or like a green, whenever we highlighted these, we can do that. We'd have to select the color. For some reason, I don't think it's updating, but maybe we'd have to publish that. But that's what hover is. And we can also change. Oh, here we go. This is the A tag, excuse me. But hover also does that if you're hovering in other areas. But links, this is if we wanted to change it to green, then it would change. But like I said, it's not up. Oh, here's the tags here. It's changing here. So in this theme, it's changing the title tags is green. So that's what hover does. Is basically when you hover over anchor tags and links. So that allows you to change that. Header colors. This is your top section. So if we wanted to change it to green or something like that, it would change it. The background color, you can see here it changed. We wanted to change it to yellow so you can see it. We're not going to change all that. We're going to change it back. This is your menu colors. We wanted to change that color. It's all pretty self-explanatory stuff here, but that's where it's all done, is under colors. This allows you to have your site set up in a certain color scheme. So that's what all these does. Background, and like I said, every theme's different, so it's pretty self-explanatory. Headers is the top section of your page. Your body section is where your content's at, and then you have your footer, which is the bottom of your page. So that's what header and footer means. Over here you can see when we start moving down, it starts going into like footers. That's what they're talking about when you see that. So they're talking about the bottom section. For instance, if we come here to footer color, we change this, you'll see that something down in your footer would change. But right now we don't have really much in our footer to really show, but maybe we can get something to change. On this theme, it's not being very nice to us, because like I said, we don't have very much content. This would change your button color. All this stuff's pretty. I'm not going to waste a whole lot of time here, so we're going to move on. This is your header image. If you wanted to have an image, that's where this city background is. It allows you to change that if you wanted to. That's where you would do that. in your background image of your whole website, which is the body back here, all this white space. You can set an image there if you wanted to do that, and it would look like that, depending on what type of image you put in there. You might want to change that, something different, or we can go ahead and just remove it so we can actually see what's going on. So that's what background image does. Menus, we covered this already. This allows you to create menus. We do that usually through the back end, but you can also do it here, which is these. We've covered that already. Widgets, we're going to be covering in the next video. Now here's your home page setting. I'm going to go into talking about this right here and briefly cover this. On default, and I've already touched upon this in the prior videos in this series, default setup, WordPress is set up by default as a blogging content management system. So by default, it's set to your latest post, which means it's going to show these. However, we can change this and make it show like a regular homepage, like a regular website. So for instance, let's say whenever somebody visited our site, instead of showing our post, we want it to show us our About Us page. But normally we would have a main content page, like our home page. But our home page is set to display post right now, so that is our home page. But let's just say for instance, our About Us page was our main page. We can set that to a static page, and we'd select it here, and then we would hit publish. And now, whenever somebody comes to our link, it's going to show our About Us page or our main home page. And now that page would be static. And then from there, they would be able to navigate to other pages depending on what they're wanting to do. Like if they wanted to go to the Contact Us. But whenever they went home, it would take them back to our static home page. So that's what that option's for there. And you can set that up either here under Customize, and it's called Homepage Settings. We're going to switch that back to Post for right now. But you can set this up either here, or you can come to your dashboard and under Settings and General, I think it's under, oh no, it's under Writing, or maybe Reading. Yeah, right, Reading. I get confused. Or here. So you can set that here or here to the static page, or here. But I just wanted to show you that there's more. And you can, in a lot of themes, whenever you can also manage in your appearance and under theme options. So for instance, this theme here has this section under appearance. Some themes don't, and it allows you to go into more detail and change a lot more stuff. So like for instance, we have custom ads. We can add in price and options for this theme since it's a classified theme. But all themes are different, so it's impossible for me to cover every theme. But basically, that's the place that you would also want to look whenever you install a theme. You would go to Appearance and see if it adds a section like Theme Options. Most of them do. And also, like I said, in Customize, a lot of themes also have all their options under this section. So it varies with each theme. You just have to check them two spots out and find out what kind of options are available to you in there. But right now we're just covering the basics, and we have done that so far: the site identity, the colors, the header image, the background image, the menus, the widgets, the homepage setting, and the additional CSS, which we'll cover later. This allows you to style your different parts of your website and control the look and feel of it, and using CSS. And I'll get into CSS later. But basically, you can do some pretty cool stuff adding code in here that really makes your website look good. So Like I said, we covered pretty much the customize section, and in the next video we're going to talk about widgets and plugins. So thank you guys. If you like this video, please hit like and share it. It really helps me out, and I appreciate each and every one of you. Thanks a lot.